The Doghouse Cup Series is proudly sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is today's all-American kitchen, open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Shoney's guests can count on quality, delicious food along with warm, friendly service. Stop by one of the West Virginia locations and try out their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar. And don't forget to take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Freaky Fast Broadcasting on your Thursday night. Tonight, we give you the conclusion of the Shoney's Doghouse Cup Series Season 2 for 2024. The season got delayed into the new year because of the hurricanes that hit Florida, and we've had to run the last week's race this week into 2025, but it's time to conclude. It's the finale here tonight at Homestead for the SSR Designs 180 at Homestead. Currently, the drivers are underway with qualifying, and we're back to where the scenario we had last week. Where's Brandon Six and will he show up? As SSR Designs, place to go if you want to find yourself with brand new schemes. Go to Facebook, check out their widespread of categories, or if you want to message them to get your own custom designs. Thank you to SSR Designs for being tonight's race sponsor. But today's scenario is similar to last week coming into qualifying. Where's Brandon Six and will he show up? Because if he doesn't show up, the championship is wide open for Brandon Bowie to grab. But if Six does show up, then the championship's practically over because there's not enough drivers out there to compete. So it's a show up and maybe steal the championship for Bowie, who's out on track. But it's Brandon Six make a late entry here with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. It's on the line on when Six will show up, but we're excited to give you the coverage here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. My name is Sam Dyer. Joining me up in the booth is Zach Hall. And Zach, at the end of a season, 14 races are about to be in the books, and we're about to crown a new champion. 2 rookies from Bowie Esports, the team that entered the season and just said this series is now ours, are now coming to a conclusion.
Open setups, man. That's how it is. Somebody figures it out, it clicks, and things work. And Bowie Esports has definitely been the team to beat this season. Is right now, look at that, to the top of the boards. It flashes up in our top right there, Justin McMahon. So great lap time from him at the top of the board in front of Brandon Bowie. But yeah, our championship scenario is interesting, Sam. You know, like you said, if the 06 doesn't show up here, it would give the championship to Brandon Bowie pretty much at that point. If the 06 shows up, he's pretty much got it locked up from the way the points would be with how many cars we have here. So it is an interesting scenario. I think our championship could be decided in the next 2 minutes, and it's kind of making me nervous.
Yeah, again, if Brandon Six does not show up, all that Brandon Bowie would have to do is just finish inside of the top 17, and the championship would be his. As currently, we still wait for Six to show up. Now, he showed up late within the final minute of the session being up last week, and we thought that was going to be a championship stirring moment, but still we wait to see if the 06 will show up here tonight. But currently top of the board, it's Andrew Sankor, who has found himself being the top pole driver once before, and that was the last time they ran at this track in 2023 season 3. Didn't win that race. It was going to be Jonathan Jennings, who's won here 3 times in the past. Jonathan Jennings not out on track, so it's kind of wide open to a lot of drivers for a chance to win here at Homestead. Bill's championship hope is still alive, as seeing the 12 still top of the board. Justin McMahon second, Brandon Bowie third. But I gotta say, the story of last week, Jamie Horn finally getting his first career win. He's gotta be feeling good for the 98 machine, knowing that he's finally got that monkey off his back.
Oh, that was so amazing to see, Sam. Yeah, I've been rooting for Jamie Horn for so long. He just came so close, and he's been so consistent, especially this season. We saw his growth from the last 2 seasons, and personally, it's just been a continuous step for him. And to get that win, I think, was a great stamp for him to kind of build some momentum for the next season. So I think, of course, he'll be most likely coming out here with a top 3 finish in points. So that's also a great finish for him. But I think next year he's going to really be focusing his sights on that championship. Is 4, 3, 2, 1. Looks like the time is clicking away, and I don't see the 06 on the list here.
06 is not on the list currently with qualifying being done. Still, there's warm-ups. We'll see if he shows up during that time, but these are the final 5 minutes for Brandon 6 to show up if he wants to clinch his championship or put the fate on can Brandon Bowie have a solid race here tonight. Again, fell apart last week as we were racing at Phoenix, as a lot of our front runners caught up in late wrecks that kind of handed the win to Jamie Horn there late. But we wait for these final 5 minutes. Again, 5 minutes of warm-up period for the drivers to get any last-minute practice in, the last adjustments on their setups, and as well lets us have a time to kind of look at the season as a whole coming into tonight. But it's been a long season, 14 races. After tonight is over, we've completed 13. It's been the Bowie Esports driver of Brandon 6 and Bowie top of the board and stats across the line. But points-wise, Jamie Horn was right there, one of the best veterans of the series. But I gotta give kudos to the driver in 4th, Eric Warman. A fantastic start to the season, enabling him to be 4th in the points entering tonight. And then another Brandon Bowie driver, a Bowie Esports driver, with that being Brian Dixon, 5th. And then Justin McMahon, another driver who had a strong start to the season, kind of fell apart in the middle, but is trying to make that rebound here late.
No doubt, Sammy. I love some of these battles we got going on here, too, for some of these positions. I mean, if you look at it, really, 7th to Jonathan Smith and Justin McMahon still have a great chance to possibly pass Brian Dixon in points. So that'll be a battle for filling out that top 5. And even Brian Dixon, 29 behind Eric Warman, he could be looking to jump in the top 4. And like you said, too, shout out to Warman for such a consistent season to be right up there, 9 top 10s. That really will put you in the position, man, to be there. So great job by a few of these drivers, but I'm sure a few others will look to close out their season on a strong point for next year.
Certainly do. Next year is going to be a full year of coverage that these drivers are going to be running, as the last few years they've split it up into 2 to 3 different seasons. But for 2024 season 2, we conclude here at Homestead. We started off at Indianapolis, where Brandon 6 really proved he was the driver to watch out for, and the championship was in hand for him after just 2 races. It was who could catch up to him, where we saw the likes of Shane Parrish have a moment, and then he kind of stepped away. And then Justin McMahon had one of his strongest runs of recent, had almost a back-to-back win at Rockingham and Daytona. And then we got to see Brian Dixon. 6 came back with his surge. Then Brandon Bowie, finally around the midway point of the season, started knocking off some wins, and that's when we started to see there was a chance for a championship battle.
It kind of did swing in that mid portion for sure once he got that victory at Richmond to kind of set things up. And we didn't get a Brandon 6 win again until Las Vegas. So it was a huge kind of, almost drought from all the way from October to December for him. And I think that kind of allowed this chance to an opportunity to happen. And, well, I mean, we will see. It doesn't look like he's going to make it so far. He still has 2 minutes, it looks like, to still get in here. But Brandon 6 could be, looking to hold on to his championship, hoping that Brandon Bowie maybe has a bad finish. Because, you brought it up, Sam, 17th place is going to be around where it is to he needs. If he finished 18th last week, so it's definitely possible to finish outside the top 17.
It certainly is. And if you lead a lap, that's 5 extra bonus points. That enables, to finish a little bit lower than the 17th, as the current gap in points is 110 points. The points are based off the old Winston Cup Series point system, where if you won the race, you got 185 points. On top of a bonus point for leading a lap is 5 bonus points. Leading the most laps is an extra 5 bonus points on top of that. So 10 bonus points on the line on top of where you finish. And then the breakdown is quite quick, of going 5 points per position until you get outside of the top 5. Then it's down 4 points per position until you fall outside of the top, I believe, 12. And then it's every 3 points after that of each position you gain. You lose is a loss of 3 points. And well, if you need to be around that 10th place to get 110 points, you need to be inside of the top 17 unless you lead a lap. And then it drops you down to where you actually can be running 19th or better. And Brandon Bowie could be finding himself with a championship. Again, that's if the 06 is not able to show up here in the next 25 seconds. And Zach, this was the worry last week of if Brandon 6 didn't show up, we could have really had a championship berth and a fight to watch out for. It looks like now it's a survival match. All that Brandon Bowie is going to have to do is finish inside of the top 17 unless he leads a lap, then finish inside of the top 19. And the championship for the 2024 Season 2 is in hand of Brandon Bowie.
This is wild stuff here. Just, I mean, crazy scenes. Like you said, last week we worried about it. This week is definitely more ominous as I say it, the time does click away and he's not here, Sam.
Not here, and a championship that we thought was clinched if Brandon 6 showed up is now in the hands of Brandon Bowie. He hasn't led the championship at all this season, but the last race, there's a chance for a big swing. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. If this is your first time watching us, welcome to the show. A little bit of drama and flair for the last race of the 2024 Season 2, Race 14. It's your finale race for the SSR Designs 180. And here's your starting grid up front, top of the board. It's Twisted Axle driver in the 12 of Andrew St. Court. He's still looking for that victory this season with Justin McMahon to his outside for row number 1. The driver of note, Old Tonight, finishing inside the top 17, and you'll hoist the championship. It's the 54 of Brandon Bowie. Fourth place will be the driver that got his first career win in the Cup Series last week. It's Jamie Horn trying to carry that momentum. Great run this season. Wants to carry it forward. The 31 of Eric Warman with Christopher Leftwich in 6th. 7th, we find Tyler Millette in the 94. Eric Anderson will be starting back in 8th place. 9th is Adam Thompson. Watch out for the aggression from that 71 here early. Daniel Wilkerson going to be starting out and finishing our top 10.
Started 11th is Kevin Pell after a great finish last week in the top 3. 12th is going to go to the 60 of Mike Lynch. 13th in qualifying is going to be the 03 of Brian Dixon. 14th is going to be the 23 of Jonathan Smith. 15th in qualifying is going to be the 45 of Gary Kloon. Alongside him in 16th, it's going to be Mark Dumont. 17th position going to go to Cameron King, with 18th going to the 4 of Bill Gentry. 19th is going to go to the 50 of Michael Dow. And rounding out our top 20, we got the 66 of Shane Parrish.
Then in 21st, making his return, did a race earlier in the season. It's Julio Villalobos Jr. in the 75. Then it's Nicholas Atwood, going to be in 22nd position in the 19. Joe McKnight going to be down at 23rd. 24th, we find Christopher Simon, and finished out our 25 drivers here tonight. It's the 9 of Stephen Bonomo. 25 drivers. All you got to do if you're the 54 of Brandon Bowie is finishing the top 17. Unless you lead a lap, then the top 19 to lead the most laps. Then you could find yourself being a little bit further down in around 21st. It's wide open for a chance for some big points. And Zach, I mean, this is the drama we weren't expecting to see, but it kind of turns tonight a little bit more fun to watch on what will Brandon Bowie do. Is he going to be cautious or aggressive like he was last week?
That is going to be the huge question, Sam. I mean, you know, if he knows the situation he's in, he needs to be, I think, cautious. I mean, if anything, get a lap led, like you said. I think getting bonus points could be a huge factor for him early. And then after that, I think it's just kind of play defense at that point and make sure you don't have those major mistakes like we seen in Phoenix last week. I mean, he was very strong there, was leading the opening laps, qualified well. I mean, just like he's done here tonight. And, you know, he made that mistake and finished back in 18th. So can't have that happen here tonight. We'll see what the 54 has in store because he could possibly go win himself a championship.
25 drivers expected to start here tonight. Joe McKnight missing out on the initial start. Also, before we take off and go, I want to say thank you to Shoney, it's True Patriot Apparel and Gifts, SSR Designs, Butt Kicker, and Not Daddy Designs for being major sponsors for the Shoney's Doghouse Cup Series for this season. We'll give deeper shout-outs to them later on. Pace car is pulling off. It's time for the finale. Who's hoisting the championship? Is it the driver that missed the race or the driver that's going to be starting up front? Your SSR Designs 180 is underway. It's side by side into turn number 1. St. Court going to be McMahon side by side as Bowie's already attempting the pass for second place.
Brandon Bowie trying to charge his way through already in that 54 machine, looking maybe to get early bonus points of 5 to stack that up to help him for later. But right now, St. Court, we know, is going to be looking to hold on to that clean air. We saw how strong St. Croix was last week. A caution really caught him out. We'll see if he can come back here tonight and rebound and try to get a first victory of the season.
Andrew St. Croix able to keep that lap. Brandon Bowie, though, is right on the back bumper and trying to set up where to go. Justin McMahon started second. He's already floundering on the outer groove, and each driver is going to be searching for where is the grip, how you can serve on tires, and already in the early going, a few drivers in the middle making some big passes up front. So a couple of moves forward and backwards. Not a lot of big movement here in the first 2 laps, but it's Andrew St. Croix who's loving the clean air, and Zach, that's exactly where you want to be as the driver that's found himself in a victory lane. If you lead the most laps, you've won 3 out of the past 5 races that they've ran here at Homestead, as Brandon Bowie goes for an attempt on the inside.
Good for that pass on the inside. This is going to be tough to do. The 12 looks strong up top, but the 54, nice side draw off the exit of turn 2. As they're going to go down here, he's going to be a nose ahead as they enter 3, but St. Croix going to fight back on that outside line. Brandon Bowie searching here, trying to have that nose ahead of the 12 as he crosses the line. He'll be ahead at the time for Beam, but the 12 is making a surge here late. I think that time, though, the 12 again going to lead that one.
It was close, but it was by 1/1000th of a second. Give it to Andrew St. Croix. Brandon Bowie's got to fight for one more lap. He wants to lead a lap for himself. Joe McKnight did miss the start of the race, so it does make the field only 24 drivers out on track. But up front, this battle is closed in from lap 1 down to lap 4. Everyone's picking and choosing. The heat's now setting the tires, and progressive banking's enabling drivers to use all 3 grooves as much as they want. And it is St. Croix who's looking confident. But Bowie once was fighting for the lead. He's now fallen to 3rd, now back to 4th. And the way he's running, it almost feels like the 54 felt like he led that lap, and he's backing off now.
It almost feels like he thought that maybe, or just felt like he was not going to have an opportunity with how it was stacking up there with people lining up on the outside line. Maybe he just feels like we're going to try to ease these tires in, because we got to remember too, folks, anybody out there is tuning in the first time at Doghouse, this league does not have stages. We can go clean and green all the way to the end, so you got to really make sure you don't go out there and just use up the tires, because you will struggle in the long run here at Homestead.
Clean and green has been in the past here at Homestead for the Shoney's Doghouse Cup Series. The first 3 times that they ran at this track, that was back to the summer of 2021 season, as well as the 2022 season 1, 2022 season 2, when they ran at Homestead. 0 cautions were thrown. First caution that was ever thrown was the 4th time they raced in 2023 season 1. It was a race where Jonathan Jennings got the pole, led the most laps and won. Here tonight, drivers know it's possible as starting for the lead, even Jamie Horn attempting for a passenger ride on board with the 43 of Anderson, as he runs currently in 7th place, being battled with Adam Thompson. And Eric Anderson, another driver, one of the similar class to Eric Warman, where kind of shocked us with how well they were running early in the season, has kind of fallen off recently as Anderson, and he's looking for a better finish here tonight, but starting in the top 10, this is a great start for the 43.
It really is. And Eric Harrison had those sneaky runs last season where he'd sneak up into the mix, you know, kind of as the race would go on, and maybe looking to do something similar here tonight, as he's right here side by side with the 94 Tyler Millette. And we're having some great racing right now. A lot of side by side action. We got Kevin Powell back there battling with with Brian Dixon. You got also this group here is Shane Parrish, the 45 Gary Clune, the 60 Mike Leftwich. All of these drivers were stacked up 3 wide just a moment ago.
Shane Parrish, I think the driver will know tonight he is going to be a threat up front. The question is, when will he get up there? As every race he's shown up for, he's been inside of the top 5, battling for the lead at some point during that race. So the 6'6" is always a fun driver to watch out for. Another driver that we expect to get up front at some point, the 03 of Brian Dixon. Well, that's Kevin Powell at some point get up there moving forward. Here's Dixon in that 03 Bowie Esports colors, changing it up. Has been usually running purple, now going with that frosty look of the light blue, white, and black. It's the 03 challenges with Shane Parrish right now.
Definitely some great challenges going on all around the racetrack, and like you said, Shane Parrish definitely going to be, I think, a strong contender maybe here later in this race. He was definitely quick there at Phoenix at one point, and I look at this battle, even got the 19 at Atwood, putting it on the door right there of Daniel Wilkerson is back here right inside the top 20 as these drivers are battling right on the fringe of that, as we're trying to stay in this grouping. And know, a lot of these drivers that are farther back here could come back forward. Homestead known for fall off, so maybe some of these drivers filling out the longer one.
10 laps have now been in the books, and seeing Nicholas Atwood, he wants a good run. The driver behind him, though, Daniel Wilkerson, qualified up front. It's looking like he was going to have a strong run, but another week where he qualifies well with the race pace, just not there. Kind of just trying to salvage it and save the race. I know for Daniel, he had some surgery over the middle of this season, and currently he's just trying to be out on track. Sometimes your season changes with different mentalities, so it's better to just be out on track and survive a whole race than it is to be in the thick of things and challenging lap after lap.
That's for sure. Some people like to ride a little farther back, especially early in the race. This is 120 laps. You got a long time to let things play out, and Daniel seems to be that driver's more methodical, kind of will let things come to him instead of trying to force the issue. And I think that's a smart thing that gets him through a lot of consistent finishes. So we'll see right here as he's actually got a little battle going on with Christopher Simon, who last week had that terrible malfunction there with his sim equipment that brought out that caution. And man, he's right here back in 21st. I'm sure he wants to get back in the mix because he's on a really good run at Phoenix.
Certainly was. Here's some other battles that are happening on course further back. Here's Jonathan Smith as well as Bill Gentry going back and forth. It's the black, red, and white machines, the 32 of Smith. Every week, you never know what type of speed we're going to see from Smith. Some weeks he's extremely quick and inside of the top 5, top 10. Other weeks he's floundering in the back. Looks like here tonight it's a settle in the back, but we'll see what changes are made throughout this race. Like you said, Zach, open setups. There are some adjustments that you could probably make throughout this race with it being nighttime conditions that this track expected to stay pretty tame. There are going to be big swings that you would see during the daytime. So I'm curious on if there are any adjustments that could really help some of these drivers starting in the back.
Yeah, there's definitely two things they can do, and there's also some things they can do inside the race right now. Not only change their driving style, they can change their brake bias just like we can in the fixed setup side of things. But these guys also have the ability to adjust air pressure in all 4 tires of the race car. Most of the time, you're going to see most people playing with the right side tires. Maybe a few times the left side, you'll try to get that balance in between those a little bit different to change how the car will rotate through the corners. But a lot of times, you'll see a lot of people do chassis adjustments. And what we do with that is we just move the car up and down. So we're going to change the ride height of the right rear, kind of control the cross weight, which controls the aero balance of these race cars. So definitely some adjustments they can make. If they feel a little bit loose, they'll be able to fix that up. If they feel a little bit tight, they'll be able to free that car up too. So it's definitely a great freedom to have for sure.
Might be seeing there's 2 Leftwiches out on track. You got Chris Leftwich in the 8 machine ripping the top. And behind is the 60 blue machine. That's Mike Leftwich. Mike Leftwich, father to the son of Chris Leftwich. And I got to say, Chris is doing a good job trying to stay close with Tyler Millette. Is battling, going back and forth for 7th place. Looks like Mike Leftwich, though, wanting to get a little bit more antsy back in 10th position to move forward. And as all this battling has been going on in the middle of the field, the battling up front also starting to get a little bit more hectic as Jamie Horn has been able to get by Andrew St. Court back around lap 4. But since then, we've been seeing Justin McMahon poking the nose on the outside. Bowie has been starting to close in the gap and get closer. And talking about protecting your tires, Bowie backed off. And here's his time to have a chance to strike for these next 78 laps.
We'll see how well these tires will work now. He's definitely had the pace to close right in with this group. We also got Eric Warman there up to the top 5. So looking to close out his top 5 point season with maybe a top 5 finish. That would be great for the 31 team. As his top 4 is slightly kind of away from everybody. Horn also has taken the lead through all this, and McMahon, look at him, he's starting to search a little bit here in 1 and 2, running that outer groove. We'll see if that maybe starts to work later in the run or just trying to find some clean air on the nose of that 24 machine.
I want to say again, thank you to the amazing sponsors as the Upfront Racing starting to see the 98 drift high, a chance for Andrew St. Court to take the lead, and there's the swap for position. 24 is going to give it a push to Horn to keep him moving forward, even with the loss of momentum with the slide. I want to say thank you to Shoney's. If you're in the West Virginia area and you're looking for a dining for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, go check out Shoney's. They've got themselves delicious food and friendly service since 1947. They've got plenty of delicious food, and if you're looking for desserts, they've got you covered as well with amazing pies. Shoney's, Check them out today, again, in the West Virginia location. Also want to say thank you to True Patriot Apparel and Gifts. If you go to www.truepatriotshopusa.com, remember to check out their amazing t-shirts, mugs, tumblers, as well as stickers, hats, and so much more. When you see what you like, remember to use the promo code DOGHOUSE10. That's DOGHOUSE, the number 10 at checkout to receive 10% off on your next purchase. Thank you to Shoney's and True Patriot Apparel and Gifts for sponsoring the 2024 Season 2. Here we look back to the battling for 6th place. It's now seen Tyler Millette. He's caught up to the 71 of Adam Thompson, and they've fallen to not staying as close to our top 5. But this battle for 6 looks to be starting to set up here, Zach.
That it does, and Millette really strong at the 1.5 miles, so no surprise to see him up here. No slouch when it comes to these style of racetracks. He is really putting the pressure right now on this 71 and starting to look for some clean air. The 71 kind of opens up the door, cuts down a little bit later there. See, just dumps there right below the 94, and it's almost noticeable when you see that how fast the 94 kind of has to slow up the center of the quarter speed to be able to have the same grip as the car ahead. But we'll utilize that draft down the straightaway, and now again a little bit lower apex there, able to get a little bit air on the nose, and that's a lot of what you do in these cars, is play those aero games, and that's what these two are looking to do right now. But they're going to have someone quickly, in my opinion, behind them that is going to be threatening them, and that's going to be the 66 of Shane Parrish. He is quickly moving forward, and right now actually one of the fastest cars on the racetrack.
The fastest car on track is Shane Parrish. The last lap, we'll see what this current lap that everyone's crossing the line will be, but that 66 took a chance, was working through the field, and is our biggest mover right now, up 12 positions from where he started back in 20th, and it has been a great surge for himself to be moving forward, but might need a little bit more help from maybe a caution. Now still 2 seconds away from the leader, so there's still in striking distance, but with how quick our top 5 are, I mean, this is going to be a little bit tough for the 66 chain, but looks like our front runner's getting a little bit more frisky with some battles, so they're killing their time, and this is helping Parrish.
And it is definitely helping Parrish, and as we said, that St. Court did take the lead from Jamie Horn around the outside there into 3 and 4, so 12 back to the point. Horn now back to second. McMahon still holding on the third as Bowie's in fourth, but Warman all over the back bumper of that 54, so our top 5 very much all within relative distance to each other, and Adam Thompson behind him, he's quickly closing in also too.
Adam Thompson, he's trying to work on that long run pace, kind of similar, I would say, to what Warren looked like last season. A lot of quick speed in the short run, and then would fall off in the later runs. It's seeing Eric Warman going for a pass on the inside of McMahon. McMahon staying high, as he's been on that outer groove for most of this run. So those tires, he's feeling the pain of this dangerous speed pushes and runs that he's getting off the exit of the corner. Still settles where he's at, but it looks like a little bit of trouble for a driver further on back, and it's going to be the 8 machine of Chris Leftwich. Goes around, has to toe to pit road, and a caution is thrown as the 8 machine. Slight mistake off of turn number 2, and I don't know what happened, but that thing just went rocketing down to the inside wall off the exit of 2 when he comes to a halt on the racing surface.
Tough break there for the 8, and we'll go back here and take a look at exactly what happened. It looks like we're coming up off the exit of the corner here is we go down the back straightaway, and just broke loose, and I mean, just destroys that inside wall, and unfortunately it's going to come back up to the racing surface. That's what's going to bring the yellow out, and we're going to ride on board here, Sam. We're going to quickly see. He's going to call it the exit. It looks good, and it's just going to fall away on the right rear, and he's trying to counter steer, but there's nothing it's going to do right at that point.
Yeah, I mean, there are ways to try to attempt to save that, but it looked like he was trying to just gas his way out of it and keep your foot in the throttle. Sometimes it works out. Other times, slamming on the brakes is another way to save the car, and it did not work out. Chris Leftwich there. Caution is thrown. 8 machine has called it a night, and that is now 2 positions that are gone, and that helps out Brandon Bowie because less drivers that are out there on track means that he's in a better position to go for this championship. But everyone into pit road, gonna be service made, and this is a weird timing of this caution coming out and everyone coming into pit road to get tires and fuel, because they only have 3 extra sets of tires in pit road to work with. I think a lot of the drivers were aiming for this race to be a 2-stop, now, Zach, this is going to be put in this realm. Still a two-stop, I think, is eligible, but how you make that final stop might be a little bit more wide open for the rest of the field.
It's going to make the more variable in the strategy for sure, because like you said, that decision of that second and final stop will be a decision of when you use your last set of tires. So I think that makes the timing of that very interesting, because if you go with the aggressive strategy that think it goes green and the more optimal strategy for green, you could be hurt if a caution would come out later and someone has 10, 15 lap fresher tires. That's where someone like a Brandon Bowie, I think that is where his concern is going to come in here if this race turns into a tire kind of deal where it's going to be who has the freshest tires, not necessarily who has the fastest cars.
Couple of drivers staying extra time. Bill Gentry as well as Christopher Simon getting a little bit of extra repairs done for themselves. Also, it looks like Cameron King drove through his pit box, missed, so he had to come in for the second round. Field is getting stacked up, about to be going green here as the lights are off, so that gives us an indication that we are going to be going this time around. Those lights are off on the pace car. Again, thank you to the amazing sponsors. We gave a shout out to Shoney's as well as True Patriot Apparel and Gifts. We also want to say thank you to today's race sponsor of SSR Designs. Go over to Facebook and look up SSR Designs today, as they can help you to find the vision that you're looking for to make your paint scheme come to life. SSR Designs, for the look that's truly your own. Again, look them up on Facebook to get contacted today, as they want to make sure that your ride is unique and completely you. We also want to say thank you to Butt Kicker. Feel what you've been missing. If you've been a part of iRacing or watching iRacing for a while, Butt Kicker is one of the most well-known sponsors around, as they want to help you feel what you are missing. Instead of just hearing the sounds, why not feel them? As the pace car pulls off, it's time to feel the roar as the drivers take the green. We are back to racing action, and it is Andrew St. Cyr going to be the lead driver up front. Also going to be having Jamie Horn to his inside, as the rest of the field 2 by 2 as we exit out of turn 2. Field looks steady, but it's St. Cyr up front.
And it is St. Cyr flying here off the inside line. Is now it's going to be Brandon Bowie trying his best to maybe rocking around this outside, but he's going to just fall in line for the time being. Is now McMahon going to look to the inside, but this just brings everybody right back together as this race has been kind of reset.
It really has, and now it gives a new set of mind of, okay, we now ran 20 laps, got a lot of knowledge in the first run. For some, maybe they learned that they need to be slightly more aggressive. If you figured, okay, my car's not feeling right, and you were able to make small adjustments under pit road. And now some drivers going to have a chance to really move forward if you were stuck deeper in the field. As currently some drivers that did make mistakes fell back, losing positions. Gary Clune losing a few spots. Mike Leftwich as well. But up front, for the battle for second place, Brandon Bowie is right back to the fight. And again, the 54 has not led a lap yet, does not have that 5 extra bonus points for leading the lap. So he still needs to finish inside of the top 17 to take the championship away from Brandon 6, who did not show up here tonight. 54 wants to get that bonus point, because once he does, and now all he has to do is finish inside of the top 19, excuse me.
That would help a ton for sure. I mean, it makes things easier to, you wouldn't think 2 positions would matter that much, but it really, really does. So we'll see how it all shakes out, but definitely some great battles going on here as Bowie now going to get it fully past that 98 as we're dropping the third, but St. Cyr has been tough. He's been out front for the time being, and we'll see if the 54 can fight around him, as he tried last time, but just wasn't close enough to get that lead.
Driver we don't usually see popping up with that fastest lap. It's going to be marked out in the 14. A huge fast lap by the 14 machine as he's making his way through the field. A driver that's notoriously known for getting involved with wrecks and struggling to finish during races. A quick lap and getting his name shown early on, as Brandon Bowie now going to be on the back bumper of Andrew St. Cyr. Last time they were side by side, it was St. Cyr able to keep the lead by 1/1000th of a second. Bowie this go around though, I think he wants this lap led and knows this is the best opportunity in the early going. Use your tires early on, then get back off and save some rubber for the long run. Bowie sets the sail, he's going for the run. To the outside is the 54, and St. Cyr, slight block, not able to use the 54's run. He has to back out of it.
Big run here from the 54 machine as he's trying everything to get around him. The lead is calling his name, Sam, and he wants it so bad here as he's trying to use that outside. The only thing I worry is how bad will this hurt the tires?
I mean, we saw him be aggressive for about the first 4 laps and then just fell off the cliff to save his tires, to then resurge back. So I think there's a little bit of saving that is still left in the 54. Trying the same move once again. Big run, going to the inside, hoping that this is the lap to be led. Not going to be the lap. Finally gets the nose head down into turn number 1, but it was by 7 1/1000ths of a second. But finally clear his buoy over Andrew Secor.
Great pass by the 54 there. That was so necessary, but he's got to get back around to the start-finish line with the lead before those bonus points are given. It's not given out before that. In the 12, I think he's not going to fight too hard. St. Croix, I think, is looking for the long run of this thing. He's not in a fight for a championship. St. Croix just wants to get a victory this season. That 12 has been so close. So many things have taken away from him. I think the 12 is taking big pictures. Like we said, Bowie leads that lap there. That's 5 bonus points in his back pocket.
And now change the number. Instead of having to finish inside of the top 17, making the top 19, and we will find ourselves with a brand new champion. Instead of it being Brandon 6, it would be Brandon Bowie for Bowie Esports. Those 2 drivers, the rookies that came in. And Bowie's been such an interesting kind of just driver to watch this season. The first half of the season, it was always starting in the back, then would work his way forward and finish inside of the top 3 at the end of the race. And then after his win at Richmond, it transformed into, okay, I'll qualify up front, and we'll see if he actually go for a championship push and not work through traffic anymore. And right now, staying up front and getting up front. It's Bowie leading the charge, but the driver of note, we talked about that, who's going to make some big moves there late, the 66 of Parrish. He's up to 6th, and he's now on the move with him at striking distance of our top 5, exactly where he needs to be for the long run. As we now look at the battle for 8th place, it's Kevin Powell and Mike Leftwich as we right on board with the 60 machine.
60 here on Leftwich is, his son Christopher Leftwich there, unfortunately had his incident. The 60 trying to carry it on for that team. He's going to get a little loose right where Christopher did get loose there in wreck. So that's a dangerous spot off of 2, but behind Leftwich, it looks like it's going to be Mark Dumont making the pass there on Tyler Millette. So it's going to be Dumont up to 10th. And Powell definitely was strong that last run too, a long run. So we'll see if he can continue to go forward, because the thing I noticed is Shane Parrish and Powell both much more better track position this run. I think they'll be able to go quickly forward.
Well, you gotta be careful there as Adam Thompson and Parrish almost making the outside. Just Warman doing a pinch off the exit of the corner, and Parrish looks like he feels like he's got plenty of grip, willing to make some dangerous moves. And I mean, when you've got grip and you feel like you can place your car anywhere and it will stick, and sometimes you put yourself in situations that really shouldn't. And Parrish gonna back off for a lap, reset, and go for attack mode on the next one.
See how he can go for that attack mode, like you said. And yeah, I think it's great that he just kind of let it all reset and figure things out as Woodman went around at 71. And Thompson was another driver who kind of came on at the end too. So I'm not surprised to see him kind of right here in front of the 66 them together, because they both kind of kept together. As farther back, Brian Dixon had a moment back there in 17th. He's going to lose a few spots, but side by side once again, the 66, Shane Parrish trying to go for that spot and break into the top 6.
Wants to get that 6th place position back. The numbers lining up a little bit too dangerously for the 66 machine, but Dixon further on back, big slide out of 2. That seems to be the danger spot of the evening. Exit at 2, drivers just trying to get on the throttle. And I know for Homestead, Zach, a track that both sides of the track so different from one another, even though from an outside perspective, you look from a blimp, they almost look identical, but so different are these corners that these drivers are dealing with.
Oh, no doubt. These tracks, you look at the map and you're like, man, it looks completely identical. And it couldn't be more or less completely opposite. It feels like one side of the track is just completely different style of banking, and the other side of the track is completely different too. It just feels like they had very unique styles, the way of paving it, and I think also just in general the way that the shapes in general can't be perfect. So it is very much a unique track, and it adds for the factor. Some people like it down to 1-2, some drivers are better down to 3 and 4. And I think that makes for some great racing as we're getting right now. It looks like Atwood trying to go around the inside of Anderson there for a top 15 position.
I mean, move for 15th place. Also seen from this blimp cam, seeing Bonomo as well as Bill Gentry. Bonomo up 5 positions where he started, all the way back in last place. Trying to do that last place up to the front run. You get so much knowledge starting in the back, driving in traffic, how other drivers are racing around one another. And for the 9, he didn't get that qualifying run that he was hoping for and missing out on qualifying. But at this current moment, a lot of knowledge being placed. Speaking of knowledge and drivers and where they want to be placed, up front, placed in first, it's Brandon Bowie and Andrew Secor battling for the lead. Now seeing Jamie Horn, Justin McMahon getting into the mix, and we're kind of missing Eric Warman, who it looks like the adjustments under pit road worked out for a top 4. Warman, though, not staying as close as he once was in that first run.
Warman definitely lost a little bit there, and I think it lost a little bit on the restart more than anything, so he had a little bit of a tough time there, but I think he's quickly gained on this group here. The only thing I'm concerned is, how hard he had to push to get up to this group. Will that kind of come back to hurt him as the run continues on? We'll just have to see how that works out for him. Also, this time, Brandon Booey's been the majority leader of this run, so, ebbs and flows here are going to be very, very interesting. The same with McMahon, not as close this time. He's kind of, set a little bit farther back. I think this run could be completely different when we see it kind of slop into that session of tires starting to fall off a lot.
Back and forth, and where can you go as we are currently 45 laps in the books here tonight. I want to say thank you to everyone that's joining with us as we will step away for our first commercial break of the evening. It's been a fun one to watch on how the field has been going back and forth, but tonight all eyes on the 54 of Brandon Bowie. Can he find himself in a position to win the championship? All he has to do is finish in the top 19. We'll see if he can do that as we'll be back right after this with more racing action. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Freaky Fast Broadcasting on Thursday night, giving you the coverage of the Shoney's Doghouse Cup Series. Tonight's the season finale of the 2024 Season 2, Race 14 of 14 for the SSR Designs at 180 at Homestead. Currently up front, starting to see the battle going back and forth. Bowie has given up the lead. He'll drop to 4th place. And it now going to be the battle between Andrew Sincor, Jamie Horn on the lead position. I want to say thank you to Shoney's True Patriot Apparel Gifts, as well as SSR Designs, Butt Kicker, and Nap Daddy Racing Designs for being the primary sponsors of the Shoney's Doghouse Cup Series all season long. It's been awesome to have partners that are willing to work with the league that's been trying to give us some of the best shows possible. And right now, the top 5 within a blanket, top 6 you could call it now, Warman, Parrish are in the fray. And Zach, this is what we were waiting for, was when the top drivers were going to start to fight back and forth. They've lost a lot of time the last few laps, and Warman and Parrish, they were able to just smoke up to these guys immediately in just 1 to 2 laps.
This is wild right here. This is great. This is right before we got the last caution, so the cars are starting to handle really bad for everybody, and I think that's why you're seeing them all come together right now as our top 6. I mean, all within a second. That is great racing, and even 7th, 8th, and 9th, they're racing right now, so that's super impressive to see also. So it's great stuff. As now McMahon, he's going to look to the inside of the 98 here and try to make a pass.
And if you're just joining us, here is your championship scenario entering tonight. It was Brandon 6 up by over 110 points. We're using the old Winston Cup Series point system, so there are a lot of points to be grabbed out there on track. But if we see Brandon Bowie finish inside of the top 19, he will win the championship. So he will have enough points. He's already led a lap as bonus point for himself. And if you finish inside of the top 19, you'll have enough points to take the championship. And a 54 to reign up front all night long. He is in a spot to be able to hoist the championship. Also, seeing the fact that drivers are already out of this race. They've already lost the likes of Christopher Leftwich, as he brought out our first caution of the day with a hard contact. Christopher Simon also looks like he's called it a night and into pit road for the first time here tonight for green flag pit stops. It's Cameron King making a stop, as well as Mike Leftwich. Early stops here as we're coming up to lap going to be 60, and I'm shocked. We still have a lot of these drivers, just one more set of tires left in their back pocket, and we still have probably 1, maybe 2 more pit stops if you pit now to make.
Yeah, that was very early. I was expecting these drivers at least stretching around, 40, 45 laps maybe. I mean, we do have a 70% fuel load here, so we can't go the full distance that you normally could here at Homestead. But definitely was interesting to see some of that early stops there for Cameron King. But see right there, Brandon Bowie, he really lost out. And I think it was smart, though. He let them go. He said, you know what, Warman, Parrish, go ahead, guys. You're quicker right now. He'll drop back to 6th, and now Parrish up to 4th, Warman 5th. This is going to get dicey now, as even Jamie Horn has got to the lead. This is Sincor coming down pit road. This is an early stop too.
Andrew Sincor, big slide off the exit of turn 4. At one moment, the camera I had watching him go to pit road, it looked he was a straight shot to the water barrels. Luckily missed the barrels, and he was able to go make his way into pit road. But drivers making their stops now, and I mean, this is going to be a gutsy call. Again, a lot of these drivers took a set of tires. They only have 3 sets in pit road to work with here tonight. They used their first set back at lap 25. A lot of them are now using their second set on lap 60, and we're just at the halfway zone. And a lot of the field's going to be having just 1 set to work with. Horn now into pit road.
This is very interesting with these stops. This is setting up for quite the strategy variability, I'd say. Here is Horn and St. Cord definitely on the aggressive side of things, I'd say. So this is shaping up quite interesting here. Is now we'll see when does McMahon, when does Parrish then come out, because pretty much what Horn and them are doing, they're just splitting it up into thirds, and they're going for the most aggressive strategy possible. And again, here we go, McMahon, Parrish 2 coming down. This is no surprise, because I think these guys are just splitting it up into about 35 lap runs.
You can make it from there. It will work out. It's just kind of shocking to see on the fact of how late do you want to use that final set of tires, just in case we have late cautions that blossom up later on. Eric Warman, Brandon Bowie going to be your top 2, currently still out on track. They're part of that top 6. 4 have already hit pit road. Will they make their pit stop? Is a true question to watch out for. Also, the battling for 3rd place, Tyler Millette, trying to stay ahead of the likes of Julio in the 78. Also, seen Adam Thompson, Jonathan Smith. They're all trying to stay close as now the fresh tires to old tire mixture. This is always a worry. It's starting to show as Julio as well as Tyler Millette going to be staying high. Shane Parrish wants to stay close to this group as he's exiting pit road now, as well as C. McMahon as they both get onto the racing surface, and those 4 drivers still on top of one another.
This is wild to see with how close it all came out right here through the mixture, and a mixture of lead lap cars, non-lead lap cars, and you'll see here these tires quickly fire off here as they try to scamper away from this group. But you know, I'm thinking about it, Sam. I think if you're warming your Brandon Bowie here, I think you're going to see these two at least stretch it out here for maybe another 5 laps before they look to come to pit road, just to make that last stop on pit road very late. Because if a caution was to come out and they were one of the last few to stop, that is going to be a huge advantage.
Now into pit road, more drivers. Going to be Nicholas Atwood as well. Seeing Daniel Wilkerson, Steve Bonomo. Now here's Tyler Millette into pit road to get service done. Bonomo getting his run off of pit road. McMahon and others, you saw their race back onto the racing surface. There's Atwood and Bonomo taking off and going. Still Warman and Bowie yet to make their stop, and Bowie has fallen off slightly from Warman's back bumper. So Warman's pulling away. He's using up these tires late in this run, showing great and excellent long run pace by the 31. The only problem, Zach, is this is going to be one of his few times he's going to have a long run go, because that next time he goes into pit road, I don't know how, if you're going to be stretching it this long on tires, you're going to be at full go and try to catch up to everyone else that pitted about 3-4 laps sooner than you did.
Yeah, you're completely right. Yeah, I think if you're warming, I think you need to come soon, just because you're kind of giving up any advantage that you had by, you know, the pace you got right now. I mean, he's definitely been strolling the long run. He's driving away from Brandon Bowie, who is falling into the clutches of Julio and Adam Thompson a little farther behind. But yeah, I mean, like this is definitely going to be interesting to see where it all transitions to. As now, actually, they've just caught Bowie. As you can see now, Horn tries to go around him. The same corner, they're going to split him down the back straightaway.
As the faster drivers, you've got the tires, why not use them? They'll get by Bowie. Bowie now going to be almost 2 seconds off of Warman, and it's still Horn and also going to be seeing St. Course side by side, almost contact as they're trying to unlap themselves. Bowie gets the show as he gets split once again. It's McMahon and as well going to be Shane Parrish. These 4 drivers just have zero give. It's all take as they're right on top of one another.
Wow, it just shows you how getting through traffic can be so important, because right now, McMahon and Parrish, big winners in all of this because they're right behind St. Cour and Horn, who have older tires than them. So great job through all this sequence in the 24 and the 66. They've technically, in my opinion, won out in this strategy so far.
Bowie stays out for another lap. Julio as well, Adam Thompson, as well as Jonathan Jennings stay out for an extra lap. Dixon stays out. So your top 6 yet to hit pit road, and they continue to stay out for another few laps. Now they can stay out for another, I believe, 2 to 3 more laps, and then they're going to be forced to pit road. But this traffic that's catching up to Warman is getting closer and closer in this 31. Better make a call quick, or it's let everyone go on by as quickly as possible so you have an opening to get into pit road.
That is very, very true. Yeah, it's going to be tough here because if you got people mixed together with you, it's tough to get the pit road without sometimes getting ran over. The communication has to be there, and we'll see now as Warman, he's going to drop behind the 24. It does have clear track now with Bowie being the next driver behind him, but I think these two going to have to pit soon. Same with Adam Thompson. It looks like right now still our top 6 yet to pit.
Jonathan Smith, Brian Dixon, both have entered into pit road. Now just the top 4 still out on track. Warman stays out for another lap for himself, as well as it looks like Brandon Bowie wants to stay out. Julio as well as Adam Thompson. They just continue to put lap after lap down, and I'm trying to see the advantage that they're going for, and the only thing I can think of is they're banking on a caution to come out. And I don't know if we're going to be seeing it anytime soon, but this staying out motion is helping out Warman in some way of, proving it. I've got some great long run pace, as it looks like finally seeing the swing on pace, but Warman misses pit road entry by almost a mile. Luckily, he was able to slow down, and all that gap that he builds up for Brandon Bowie, throw it away. Now, Bowie stands out for another lap, and he's got to make sure he's got a clean run into pit road.
That was so close. Luckily, Warman did get it slowed down. Definitely not an optimal entry to pit road, but definitely one that I think he'll at least be saying, I wasn't in the pit barrels. It's going to lose him some time for sure, but thinking for Brandon Bowie, I think the pit stop's going to happen soon, especially, 70% fuel load. I don't think you can go much farther here, so I'm pretty sure these guys are running it almost nearly dry.
Now Bowie into pit road, a much safer, conservative way. Julio is going to be following as well. That will be the last few drivers of this green flag pit cycle. And oh no, Julio! Trouble for the 78.54 on screen as he was trying his best to get into pit road, and a mistake as he locked up with the transition from the racing surface to the apron, spun around and hit the worst corner you could, trying to straighten back out.
It's so tough. Luckily, it didn't give him a meatball fight, so didn't break, the toe links, but probably might have been. He'll probably be sitting there for a little bit, maybe getting it fixed, but actually they dropped the jack and he goes. So Julio going back out there, but definitely some damage that's occurred to that left side. As you can see here, it's all cycled through now. St. Cor is our leader, and our top four are pretty much 4 pigs under a blanket.
Will stay in line. Then the question is, how well can Warman as well as Bowie maybe catch up to them? Again, Bowie's mentality and goal for the night, finish inside of the top 19, and that is a perfect night for yourself, and you will be hoisting the championship and be the 2024 season 2 champion. So it was down to 6 as well. Bowie on who was going to take the championship. Everyone else was mathematically out of the running, but side by Horn, St. Cor, and it's going to be the 12 machine on the outside with a better run, but Shane Parrish in the mixture. This is the threat and the worry. The 66 has been the fastest driver in the later runs. The fact that he's with this top group now means this 66 is going to be the driver when it comes close to the end of this race. When it comes to the end of this pit cycle, these drivers are in a worrisome mode. Another driver has called it an evening. That's Michael Dow, down to just 21 drivers out on track. If we lose 2 more drivers before the night's over and we're down to just 19, Bowie takes the championship.
Very, very interesting, Sam. And I was even taking a look at the points too, and they do award provisionals here, so it is going to be interesting with that. And I don't think you can get much more than about 43 points, at least from last week. A provisional was awarded for 43 points, so it could be more than what we think he needs, but we'll have to see how it shakes out, of course, once it all comes down to it. But right now, this top 4 is a scintillating battle, and also Brandon Bowie is starting to help himself a little bit. He's already up to 6th.
Yeah, and I believe also, I think you have to announce that you're going to be doing a start in park, and I don't think we saw that start in park be announced, so I don't think provisionals will be given out to 6. Because he didn't announce that he was doing a start in park. There's a way that you can get provisionals. So again, we're assuming that there are no points going to be given out to 6. If they are given out, there is a little bit more pressure put on Bowie to get up front, and he has to finish inside of, I believe, then the top 10. But with the way that we're seeing his pace currently, this is looking like Bowie's race as long as he stays out of trouble.
I completely agree. I think he should be good. And like you said, also, there was no announcement of starting park form announced, so. And it does let the guys who've got it before have announced it. So it doesn't like he'll get. We'll see, of course, how they'll rule that. But at the time being, we'll go by him not getting it, of course. So Bowie is in a good position. He's just got to be smart. But I tell you what, the race working up front has been excellent.
It certainly has. St. Cor, Horn, they're giving us a show. And this is kind of the, I would say, if Bowie Esports and Shane Parrish and all the rookies didn't show up, this was the racing we were expecting this season. Twisted Axle, as well as seeing those elite Southern drivers, they seem to be equaling up on pace coming to the end of last season. We saw Twisted Axle, Kevin Thompson, Andrew St. Cor. They were starting to see the likes of Jamie Horn pop up, and
with the emergence of Horn, also seeing Justin McMahon, I gotta say, these drivers are going to be having quite a show between one another. If Blue Esports doesn't return next season, I think it could be between this grouping of drivers on who could be the champion next season.
It really could come down to this grouping here, man. This is, you know, sometimes they say the last race of the season is a kind of like a preview to the next season. So this could be what is looking down the pipes here for Doghouse, but we'll see. I mean, St. Core, we know how good he's been. He hasn't been able to be here all season, so wouldn't be able to compete for a championship, but we know how good he can be over a full season length. Jamie Horn, I mean, he's clearly grown into a great driver. And McMahon having a breakout season 2 back to his great that he showed in the past. So it is definitely looking good for him. But I tell you what, the 66, he's been climbing his way up, and he has finally got to the inside for the lead.
Man, again, Shane Parrish, you can just see the grip that the 66 has, able to just paint that white line through the corner, keep this pace up, and right to the inside, nose ahead over St. Croix. Once we see Parrish take the lead, though, that's where we'll see the true pace. What does he have for the rest of the competition? And speaking about the rest of the competition, Horn pits early. With less than 40 laps left in this race, Horn heads into pit road.
That is very, very aggressive. So we'll see how it works out for him. If we get a caution after this point, it's going to be a very hurtful thing for him, because that is his last set of tires that he'll be putting on this race car. But I tell you what, Sam, this is definitely going on the aggressive side. It makes, I think, all these drivers up here think, what will I do?
As the rest of them, I mean, they're expected to stay out, and no! Mistake by Andrew St. Croix. He was thinking about pit road. It's not going to be this lap. He loses over 2-3 seconds to Shane Parrish and more as he has to get back up to speed. And Andrew St. Croix's attempt to try to equalize and follow Jamie Horn now is up in smokes.
Oh, such a tough break. That is a tough pit road to get onto, because we don't use the access road anymore, and he was kind of doing it late there, and kind of luckily didn't get ran over by McMahon, who was very heads up there not to run him over. I mean, I'm thinking it was a pit entry, but at the same time, he was very loose, so it might not even have been an attempt to pit road. It might have just been him holding on, but we'll see what he elects to do. Doesn't come around this time, so he'll continue to stay out. As look, here comes Kevin Powell, aggressive with his stop too. Teammates with Jamie Horn, no surprise.
Into pit road, going to get served done. Also, Cameron King, we saw, was in pit road the lap prior. Still out on track is Andrew St. Croix, Shane Parrish, Justin McMahon. How will they try to equalize, or do they continue to stay out and trying to split this run in half? Which, if you're trying to do that run, you still have another about 10 to 15 laps to go if you're Parrish and McMahon. And for Brandon Bowie, as well as looking at Eric Warman, Zach, they are not gaining fast enough. They're only 0.2 faster than our top two. That pace difference is something to be worried about with how long they stayed out. They gave up in over 10 laps between Parrish and McMahon, and they're just not making up any of this ground. It is down to Parrish and McMahon, I feel like, for this win, unless Jamie Horn's very aggressive pit road stop, it rewards him later on in this race.
Yeah, the time is really not coming back to the guys that stopped right there. It's really not. You know, this is weird. You know, we talk about Homestead being a lot of fall off. And the car does, almost, it's weird to say this, it feels like it does slow down when you're here at Homestead, when you're racing in this Cup car. But really, the fall off is not there. I mean, you're looking at Parrish and them up front right now. They're 25 laps into a run. You've only fallen off about 4/10 from his fastest lap of the race. So it shows you that tires don't drop off that much here with this Cup Series car. So that, you know, kind of overstaying out like kind of position like that only really hurts you because of how much the tires really quickly get into the same zone and run a similar lap time.
Another driver calling it a night. Cameron King made his pit stop, made a mistake in the 92. Will be our fourth DNF of the evening. Fifth driver that we expected to be out on track is Joe McKnight did not take the green. We're left with 20 drivers out on track. And I'm looking at the speed of the 78 of Julio and Zaki. That damage is really hurting him currently. Another driver that looks like he's hurting on pace is Mark Dumont. He looks to be wounded. I don't know if those drivers, if they're going to stay out as long as they can, because look at that. Dumont's been the driver that's called it a night every race this season, and he's wall riding practically. I don't see this 14 next time he goes into pit road. He's going to be finishing out this race, which would make it unofficially, based off if we don't see 6 get provisional points, it could be giving the championship to Bowie before we even have ourselves with 15 to go.
This is very interesting here with Rhino Boy Dumont. Yeah, I mean, when I look at it, he's been pretty much doing this every single lap, and Rhino Boy, he's not even lifting, just kind of driving it into the wall. And don't want iRacing Sporting Code to see that. It's definitely not something you're not supposed to do on the sim, but yeah, he's going for it. I guess saying, yeah, and I tell you, at some point it's going to break that right front. He's going to have an issue.
Yeah, it's kind of run it until you break it at this point for Michael now. And this is interesting to watch and see. Again, he's running fast enough that he's looking to make a pass here on Atwood, who is legitimately running the race. So, not the way you're supposed to get around, but he's doing it. As Dow is just going to run this thing until it breaks. Is now into pit road, going to be Andrew St. Cour after, again, his big slide, losing over 4 seconds. Not the way he wanted it. Also, going to be Justin McMahon getting service and taking off and going. As Alex Parrish still out on track. As I say that, though, he now makes his way into his pit box and getting service done.
See how this works out for everybody as this race is slowly creeping near the final moments of it. But this is definitely shaping up for some interesting scenarios to play out here, Sam.
As they continue to go here tonight, pit stops underway. It's now the race to the end. Who's going to take the crown as we're in the middle of this pit cycle? I think we're going to take one of our final commercial breaks of the evening. It's been a fun one to give you a call here for the 2024 year. We're going to give you the call for 2024 season 1 and 2. This is going to be our final 20 laps of the race to call, but we will be back after this for more of the SSR Designs 180, the finale race. Who hoists the championship? We'll find out when we come back. wide behind her pit.
Oh my, the 5 wide here, this ain't gonna work. They make it last, bumping and banging to the end. They're beating banging for the lead. Sora still with the shot here, coming off a 4. Look at me, that's it.
It's bottom line, here it comes. Oh no, Carter gets wrecked. It's gonna be that Nick Crawford. The 74 gets through somehow, and they just completely demolish one another. Trinity diving down low, drifting up, trying to be the stealer. Here he comes, Cedric Hunter. He does it, he steals it.
But he somehow drove it into the corner to wreck it.
Oh, they wrecked! They wrecked each other. The top two bounced into one another. Just too much of side drifting off of, and they got to be careful. Oh no! The 4 demolishes in the 28.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you want a masterclass of what not to do here at Homestead, you just saw it with Mark Dumont. Do not wall ride, as you can get penalized. There, anyone in iRacing, you can report Mark Dumont because he's been doing that for the past 20 laps and trying to wreck the machine, and then also comes to a complete stop and puts in reverse. Do not do that in racing. If you're in leagues or officials, what you just saw, don't ever do. Mark Dumont, please don't ever do that again, as we are watching the final race of our 2024 Season 2, Race 14. You'd think you'd learn by now, Zach, but obviously we haven't, and we thought that was going to bring out a caution that would have really hurt so many drivers at this point of how this race was going to finish up. But with the way the scenarios have ran down, Shane Parrish looks to be in the best scenario to win this race, as he currently runs in 3rd place, about to be making the pass on Jamie Horn, as Adam Thompson still needing to make a stop, but he might try to stretch it as long as he can. And this 71, I mean, the fuel's gonna be close. I don't know if he can make it as far as he would want, but he's gonna attempt it, I think.
We've seen people go 45. He's gonna need to go 48. So it's gonna, we'll see. We'll get the stretch of fuel, Sam. We're definitely gonna see if you can stretch it out. But yeah, I can't confirm Shane Parrish up the second now, so he's taken over what will be, if Adam Thompson can't make it, will be the lead. But that's still not over because McMahon's still trying to close into Jamie Horn himself. But we've seen also that grouping has stayed close all throughout the night. Also, Brandon Bowie, he's done a good job. He's got himself up into the top 5, so he's doing everything he needs to do to win a championship. And 14 laps, Sam. This is going to be interesting to see if they can run Thompson down up here, who is about 0.8 of a second off here on time.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out the math exactly. If there were hypothetically provisionals given out to Brandon 6, what position does Bowie need to finish in? And I believe it is 5th, with the bonus points being given out. And how many points could be given? Bowie needs to finish at least in the top 9. I mean, in the top, looking at it, top 8 is where he needs to be to hoist the championship if provisions were given out. If provisionals were not given out, then Brandon Bowie is your champion, because Mark Dumont, who we saw just wall riding and also almost bring out a caution, has left the server. Also, Andrew Sankor's in pit road, Gary Kluge's in pit road, Bill Gentry's in pit road. There's enough drivers out of this race that it would be Bowie hoisting the championship with 11 laps left in this race. He's got to be feeling good. Also, the fact that Adam Thompson may not be able to make it to the end of this race with how close fuel's going to be, this makes it a little bit more also helpful that if the provisionals are given out, that he is in a comfort zone to still take the championship.
Definitely more of a comfort zone for sure, Sam, for this final stretch. And you see McMahon, he's gotten around now Horn, and McMahon putting down similar pace to Shane Parrish. We'll see if he can close that gap. It's about 0.8 of a difference between those two, and about 5 seconds up the road to Adam Thompson. So with only 11 laps to go here, coming to 10 to go, this is going to be quite an interesting finale here to this season.
Is it down to fuel, or was it based off of pure speed? That's going to be the question for Adam Thompson. Shane Parrish. Parrish is pulling away from McMahon and Horn, as those drivers just not able to keep up with the speed of this 66. But there is lap traffic that could help out Adam Thompson, as he is being run down and caught by a second per lap. So at this rate, 66 will catch up to Thompson before this race is over. But it's been a good attempt, as Thompson will continue to fight and try to get at least the best finish possible, maybe a net gain
by stretching this fuel out. But thank you again to everyone that's been watching with us for the 2024 year. We will not be officially coming back for next year to be giving you the coverage of the Shoney's Doghouse Cup Series, as we're shrinking our schedules to just be covering the WSSR on Wednesday nights and the ISRC Truck Series on Mondays, just to help trim things down on our end, because it's been a lot since the pandemic of doing a lot of broadcasts. And Zach, I know for all of us, we're getting to that point where just a smaller schedule is a little bit nicer compared to the break nose of 4 to 5 races a week that we used to do.
Oh, for sure, Sam. Yeah, it definitely can get a little hectic when your full week is filled up, and it'll definitely, I think, give us a chance to even improve on our quality on those nights with having less. It's just it's always tough to have multiple different leagues and have to change multiple different things for them, and it's hard to keep up with sometimes. And I think this next year is going to be an interesting point for Freaky Fast, and we'll definitely be interested how it all works out. But definitely want to thank Doghouse for everything here, calling these 2 seasons. It's been really, really fun to watch these open setup next gen cars battle, and really put on some great shows for us up here. And they'll definitely still be having some great racing themselves as they'll be continuing their racing here, even though
we appreciate all those that have been in the chat as well throughout this whole year, rooting for your favorite drivers, from B-Mag to K-Doggy to everyone else that's chatted and interacted us throughout this year. It's been a pleasure to give you the call of the Shoney's Doghouse Cup Series, and seeing the journey of some of these drivers growing into their very own, and seeing the rookies that really outshine as we are down to the final few laps. The spacing has cut down, but Adam Thompson is about to be caught. It's less than a second. Well, it's going to be first seeing the lap car of the 03 of Dixon trying to get by. Then it's Shane Parrish right on the back bumper, catching up to Thompson, and the 66 has been quick. He's been hitting his marks, and it is coming down to also a chance to hoist the championship as Thompson goes low, blocks off the 3, thought maybe he was going to go to pit road, but no, it was just a massive block on Dixon.
That it was. This is going to be wild here. Is now Dixon kind of slowing up the 66 a little bit. Now the 71 right here in the mix too. This is going to get wild here. Is now with the lap cars here. Does it allow McMahon to close in a little bit, because the 66 has opened up that gap, but I think the 66 is just going to have too much strength here tonight.
When you're over a half a second faster, you can just wait for a mistake, wait for your opening to strike, and that's what Shane Parrish did. Able to get by Thompson, Steve Bonomo, Dixon, they'll try their attempts to get by the 71. I think it's going to be a little bit easier to do so as Dixon goes down. No more blocking, will stay high. Bonomo also will attempt for the move, but Justin McMahon a little bit too far. Horn as well, a little bit too far. And for Brandon Bowie, he's still 4 seconds back. He would love to move up into 4th position if possible. And Adam Thompson is that goal for the next 4 laps. And for Thompson, the question is, what fuel will he have left to make it to the end of this race? But Shane Parrish, at one moment early in the season, Parrish was the other driver that we thought maybe could compete and put a challenge on Brandon Six and Bowie and be that 3rd, 4th driver to challenge for a championship. He missed out on the majority of the middle of the season, but Zach, with 3 laps to go, Parrish is showing exactly the driver that we knew early in the season that he could be.
That he is, man. He has shown multiple times, when he's been out there, he's looked so good. As behind, farther back here, the 71 and the 24 almost getting into it. The 9 of Bonomo, that got crazy there for a moment. I thought the 71 was going around, and he saves it, but McMahon still got the weight to try to get in the second.
I think Thompson might still be willing to fight for some of these positions. I don't know if he realizes that some of them are for position and others are just lap down cars, but he is still trying to hold back Justin McMahon for 2nd place. McMahon finally able to get to the inside row, and I think he's going to be able to make that pass for 2nd to be made, but quick and scary moments for those final laps. But for Shane Parrish off the exit of turn 2, he can look up to the flag stand, sees the white flag. No other flag will be thrown except for the checkered, as your white flag presented by Freaky Fast Broadcasting is out. And Parrish is one of the few that was able to avoid any incidences, found the timing to hit pit road,
and he's got the spacing to be up front and pulling away. What a race it's been for this 66. Our biggest mover of the day, up 19 spots. He started in 20th, made the climb, and now off the exit of turn 4 can say that he is a two-time winner in the Shoney's Doghouse Cup Series. Your SSR Designs 180 winner is Shane Parrish. Then you fall back to 4th place, the 54 of Brandon Bowie. With provisional or not, it's Bowie that takes the 2024 Season 2 championship for the Shoney's Doghouse Cup Series. Congratulations to Brandon Bowie. What a swing for the 54 machine. He is your champion this season unofficially. Shane Parrish is a two-time winner and gets to enjoy this one. Won at Pocono, wins at Homestead, and it was a grueler and an awesome battle to watch from top to bottom.
What an awesome race there. One caution, but from there it was from the drop of the flag to the checker flag, and the 66. I mean, what a job by him to drive his heart out there to get that victory. But also great job by Brandon Bowie bringing him forth. And can confirm Adam Thompson did run out that last run or that last lap, and he brings it home in 11th.
Fell back, lost all the time. It is highly unfortunate. Well, for us up at the booth, we are going to step away. When we come back, we're going to talk to our top 3 as well, to Brandon Bowie in 4th, get their thoughts on the season, on tonight's race, and crown a champion, as we will step away and come back for the post-race show. Thank you for joining with us. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight was a special one as we got to see the finale of the 2024 Season 2. It's your SSR Designs 180 winner. We had to first place to talk to Shane Parrish and to see how he's feeling after this one. Shane, an incredible race on your end, coming away with the victory. Our biggest mover on top of that started in 20th. How are you feeling after this victory on the last race of the season?
Wow, what a comeback, huh? I had some real bad computer problems. My motherboard's going out. I lost sound everywhere except for here on the Discord, and my shifter wasn't working some of the times during the race. What a challenging time it was. My pedals, when I went out to qualify, were about 4 times more sensitive. So when I hit the gas pedal, I spun in qualifying, and I had to start at the back. So luckily I could reprogram them and do, so I'm going to get a new motherboard next week and fix it. But just a great time out there in these Ryko setups, you know. Came out from the setups earlier this season at 114 to 120 degree temps. made a couple small adjustments on it, and hope it would have something here tonight. And just had to be careful because 25 to 35, it was like, honestly, it was like driving on ice in and off. It was, you were chasing it the whole corner, no doubt.
I mean, it was hard to tell, Shane. From our point of view, you looked stable for most of the night. It was incredible to watch you climb through the field. And then at the end, it was kind of a four-horse battle between yourself, McMahon, Horn, and a few others that were getting mixed in between. What was it like in the middle of this race when you guys were dogfighting and going back and forth?
Well, we were dogfighting there for a while where it was Horn, Andrew, and myself. And then we had Justin behind me. And, I had a couple times there I could have dove under and went 3 wide, and I did a couple AI races, and I thought about it, and then I backed out and said, no, I'm not going to do that. It's too early in the race. Let's just sit back and let's just let them battle this out and let them have some fun for about 10 laps. And I did. And then when they got a little bit tight and I got underneath and got around Jamie, and then I got underneath and got around Andrew there, I could tell how much faster my car was. And I started setting sail. And then I knew when they pitted, I was just going to wait because I knew that if I could go another 8-10 laps and hold good speed, which I was still on the, down under the 20 or the 30s, I would be doing just fine. And I was. So I just stayed out. I knew I'd have to run down Jamie, but I figured his car would get tightened up there towards the end. I'd be able to run him down and pass him. And luckily, I did. Caught myself driving a little too hard there a few times. But, back myself up. My old age, I'm an old man, but I love coming out here and having fun.
Well, it was awesome to watch, Shane. It was a pleasure to see you get your 2 wins this season. Question for next season, though. Are you planning on coming back? And if you are, what's the confidence?
Yes, I'm definitely going to come back. I don't know what my confidence level is going to be. There's a lot of guys in here that are joining the Ryko, group next year. So they're going to have the setups just like myself. There's a lot of fast guys in this group. Anything can happen at any time. Myself, I'm just happy if I can get top 5 finishes. I feel really good at my age to be out here running with these guys that have 100 times better vision, 100 times better reaction times and things. So I feel really good to be able to run and compete. So for me, it's not all about winning every week. It's just about being competitive. And for me, mostly, honestly, it's just about being clean and passing cleanly as much as I can. And having fun and just paying respect to the other drivers.
Well, I know we are going to be covering you guys next season, but cannot wait to see how well you perform next season. Shane, congratulations on this win. And before we let you go, floor's now yours for any other shout outs.
Well, I want to thank Ryko and Ken and all the guys over there for the setups that they do put out and the time that they put in and what all the guys do. Thank Andrew and the team. They're with Beast Mode. I'm with Beast Mode. We'll all be Beast Mode next year, so we're all together. So it was a good team effort tonight. Unfortunately, Andrew didn't have much time for practice, but when we were having that meeting, I helped him out there for that half hour and threw him in and gave him my adjustments. He ran really well. But just basically want to thank, Ryko, Beast Mode. I want to thank, my company, Mars Properties, for putting their name on the car and letting this old man drive and have fun. And I really want to thank you guys in the booth. I hate to see you go. I really enjoyed your broadcast when I was here for the 4 races and now for the last 2, which makes, the Super 6 with 66 inside of my car. So, hey, what a great number. And, I just want to thank Daniel, Jamie, and everybody with Doghouse and what they're doing and the new changes they're making. I'm glad to be back. Look forward to be full-time next year. What an awesome league to have 1 caution the last couple races and just go like we have. You just don't get this much anywhere, and I look forward next season to hopefully having some full-length green flag runs. But thanks again, guys. I appreciate it tonight. Sorry, I'll miss y'all. You guys do an awesome job, and I'll keep you liked on my YouTube, and I'll still watch you and see what you're doing and where you're at.
We appreciate that, Shane. Congratulations on the win. Good luck heading into next season, and cannot wait to see how you perform.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy the night.
You too. That's going to be your winner here tonight for your SR Designs 180. We're now going to be heading to second place to talk to Justin McMahon and see how he's feeling after this performance. We got the 24 with us. Justin, congratulations on a second place finish here tonight. You were part of the top 4-6 drivers that were up front all evening. How are you feeling after your performances tonight?
Feeling pretty good. We survived. That was kind of the main goal tonight, but I also wanted to have a good setup underneath us to give us a chance to get out there and try to win it. It was a lot of fun tonight. I'm feeling pretty good with that. It'll help me. It'll give us some confidence going into next season. I think that'll be good. It was fun.
I mean, Justin, we saw a lot of different decisions on when to come into pit road during the first and second green flag pit stops. What was going on with your thoughts on when to come into pit road with having 6 guys on top of one another right when you guys were thinking about pit road?
Yeah, the first set of pit stops, I was planning on running it as long as I could run it out. And then as soon as I saw the guys in front come down pit road, I kind of knew I kind of had to follow suit if I wanted to, eliminate any advantage that they would get after that. So um, that one was pretty straightforward with coming in when the leaders came in. The second one, however, that was a little different because early in that run we could make it the rest of the way on fuel. So it was kind of a when do you come in and you pit early, you can make it to the end of the race on fuel, but are you going to get that late caution that's going to come out and now you're going to be out of tires, so then you're going to kind of lose out that one. So for me, I was kind of trying to get to that 90 lap mark, to at least give me 30 laps on a set of tires on it. So I was kind of hoping that the caution wasn't going to come out after that, and luckily it kind of came to fruition. So it actually worked out in our favor. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it was a lot of good hard racing. It was fun racing up there with those guys in the front. We're kind of following each other around for a little while, and kind of you're trying to save tires. You don't want to get up there and rip the wall because you'll eat your tires off. But at one point I'm like, you know what, if I'm going to we're at the end of a run, I said I might as well try to get up there and at least try to gain a couple positions back. And we tried it, and it worked for a little bit, but until it didn't, So it is what it is. What it is. It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that we ended it on a high note here for this season. So I can come into next season with high spirits and hopes and prayers that we have another good season ahead of us.
I mean, that kind of goes into my second question of you had such a good rebound season with you finding yourself in victory lane once this season and then having your spots of good finishes. How do you feel like you're going to be setting up going into next season for yourself?
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. With the league kind of taking a different approach. I know, unfortunately, I hear you guys aren't going to be able to come back for us next year, which sucks. You guys did a great job. I enjoyed watching the replays back, but yeah, I think moving forward, I mean, we feel pretty confident. We got a lot of good guys in our team that are really working hard on setups. So I think we get that in line. I think we're gonna be set pretty well. I feel pretty confident with it. So I look forward to it. It should be a lot of fun and a lot of new talent probably coming in the league as well. So it's going to be interesting for sure. You go the whole season and you get used to the guys that are in here that are new, and then the next season you might get a handful of other new guys that are in. So it's kind of like a whole nother learning process. So it's going to be interesting. I think it'll be fun. It keeps everybody on their toes and keeps everyone striving to be better and work on their setups and practice a little bit more. So we push each other. It should be fun.
Certainly should be. Yeah, we're going to be missing out on calling you guys next season, but we're excited to see what the league is moving forward to. Justin, before we let you go, though, the floor is now yours for any other shout outs.
Yeah, you guys for the broadcast. Like I said, you guys do a great job. Daniel at Doghouse that puts the league on, and all the admins that help with it. Um, it Shout out to them. They do a hell of a job with the league and keeping it a clean and respectful league. I think for the most part, it's been pretty good for him and my buddy Nate Feinberg for Group 6 for the sponsor on the car all season. Glad I could get a podium. He said my sponsor was on the line if I didn't get a podium tonight, so I'm glad I did that for him. So him and all my teammates at Loud Pedal.
as that will be your second place finisher here tonight in the 24 of Justin McMahon. Justin, congratulations on a successful season for yourself, and we hope for better things for you heading to the next. Congratulations, and enjoy this one heading into the off season.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
As we move from second place, we would move to third. Sadly, we are not able to talk to Jamie Horn as he wasn't able to get in here. And as well, we're kind of waiting for the finalization of points. I know we were crowning Bowie as the winner of the championship. We officially have the numbers are in. There was no provisional given out to 6, so he was comfortable with those final 20 laps. We go to fourth place to talk to your 2024 Season 2 Shoney's Doghouse Cup Series champion. We got Brandon Bowie with us. Brandon, I mean, halfway through the season, we saw you get the win at Richmond. It felt like from there on, a switch was flipped, and you were poised to go for this championship.
Yeah, I finally figured it out. Just finally figured out that the issue was me, it wasn't the car. Yeah, man, this is pretty surprising, honestly. I expected to have to race my teammate really hard tonight to try and take the championship. But he didn't show. So, but I still wasn't really sure like where I need to finish or anything like that. And I know, you know, if I would have got wrecked or made a mistake like I did last week, then I don't win the championship. So, I tried to play it as calmly as possible, led some laps, stayed up front, as long as I could. I guess you can kind of say I was kind of caught off guard by their strategy that they kind of did. Cause I was on my own strategy, so I was trying to do something a little bit different. But I toward the end, like they just had better pace than I did. I was a little on the snug, tight side, and I couldn't get it free enough. But I knew that I didn't want to make the same mistake that I did last week. So I decided to kind of just play it easy and finish the race. That was the big picture for me.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't sure if you knew the scenario or not, just because of the first segment of the race. It seemed like you were racing to lead a lap, and then you would back off and then race to lead a lap again. Was the mentality early on just to lead a lap and then get into a safe spot on track?
Yeah, it was. Just I did try to go up there and lead a lap. I don't even think I don't think I even got the lap. But then I got a little loose and I kind of had to reset. Like, okay, if I wreck, it's over. So, yeah, I kind of just backed off and kind of just rode and tried to understand what their setups are kind of doing compared to mine. Like I said, I was definitely on the snug side. And I even thought about, even when we came down pit road, I even thought about maybe freeing it up more, but I was so afraid that I was going to overstep. And I mean, honestly, I kept having flashbacks of last week. So I was just like, you know what? I got up there and got up front, because I didn't want to lead the lap, and I did want to see how it felt out front. And it actually felt really good with the setup, felt a lot better. But I could definitely tell that those guys were still a little bit faster than me, and it just got to a point where I just felt like I was just over driving to stay in front of them. So I can't remember who got into me a little bit. I can't remember who it was, but they kind of hit my beer bumper a little bit, and I was just like, okay, I got the message. So I moved up, let them go. They apologized and everything, but I was like, hey, no, man, it's all good. You know, like I said, the bigger picture for me was I know that I needed to finish probably around top 15 or somewhere like that. But again, I still didn't know how the points was going to shake out. So I was just like, well, I'll just try and stay in the top 5 and try to get, try to see if I can maybe steal the championship. And, magically, I still got it. So that was, it was kind of crazy because I didn't even do a burnout because I still didn't know if I had it or not, so we had to do a burnout a little bit later.
I mean, it was awesome to watch Brandon. I know from us up at the booth, we were calculating the numbers. I think with Brandon 6 not showing up and without a provisional, you just need to finish inside the top 17 if you were good. Once you led that lap, you just need to be in the top 19.
And then halfway through, we started thinking, well, if there's a provisional, then you have to finish in the top 10. So you did everything perfect to take this championship away. Congratulations on that. How are you feeling as a team, though? You proved Bowie Esports were the dominators early on, showing that you were going to be the favorites for this championship between yourself and Six. What's the future looking like for the team, though, with the dominance you showed this season? Are you planning on coming back for next season, or was this a one-season show?
Well, I think for some of us it was probably a one-season show. I tend to go to different leagues and try out different leagues to see if honestly if they're worthy. With clean racing, with rules that are fair, and other little knickknacks just to see how it is. And honestly, this league proved that there's clean racing. I mean, that we went green for 120 laps. I'm in other leagues, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I that probably doesn't happen. So just the amount of clean racing that there is here, it does allow us to possibly come back for next season. I can tell you, unfortunately, myself and Six won't be back next season, but we are still technically working behind the scenes to maybe see if we can still put together like a 2-car team and see if, or 2 or 3, and see if we can come back. But unfortunately, nothing right now is set in stone. I know that there's charters out there that people are trying to acquire. So it just depends on how everything shakes out. If we can get enough people in time, then we'll try to get some charters. If not, then maybe we take a season and stay on the sidelines, and then maybe we regroup for 2026. So we'll just have to see.
That sounds like a solid plan. Well, Brandon, before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any other shout-outs.
Yeah, I got to thank, of course, my team, Bowie Esports, for, of course, racing together and working together to try and win races. I mean, I know for some people it's probably like, hey, you guys won a lot of races. But there were also a lot of mistakes. So, it's good to see that we improved throughout the season. Maybe for some, I don't feel like I did, but I kind of got static a little bit. But for the most part, I think as a team, we did pretty good. Of course, got to thank the sponsor, Gremlins Cards. You can check them out at tinyurl.com/Gremlins Cards. Use promo Bowie Esports 20 for 20% off. You can check them out. Got to thank Boosted. Got to thank Circle B Diecast. Got to thank Battle Beaver. I want to thank you guys, Freaky Fast. I think you guys only missed one of my wins, which I was still kind of sad about. But you guys had some electricity issues, so you guys couldn't broadcast that race. But I just want to say you guys did an amazing job this season. It is really, really fun to go back and watch these races. And I don't think you guys will be back next season, which is kind of sad, but I get it. I understand. So thank you guys. I got to thank the league for having Bowie Esports. I know there were times that had some rough patches, but I appreciate still allowing us to still race and keep it clean and have fun. So I appreciate that. And I got to thank my family for allowing me to race. Without them approving me, then these races don't happen for me. And I think that's about it.
Well, that will be Brandon Bowie from the 54 team. Congratulations on an amazing performance tonight, doing perfectly what you needed to do. And once again, your 2024 Season 2 Shoney's Doghouse Cup Series champion goes to Brandon Bowie in the 54 team. Congratulations, Brandon, on this championship, on an amazing performance. Enjoy the off season and good luck fielding that team for next season.
All right. Thanks, Sam.
As we move from 4th place, it looks like actually 3rd place runner Jamie Horn actually has shown up. So we'll see if we can talk to Jamie in 3rd place and see how that 98 machine feels after his performance tonight. It was electric to watch, going back and forth all night long. We've got Jamie with us. Jamie and Sam up in the booth. Congratulations on a 3rd place finish here tonight. You look like at one moment you had race winning pace. A couple of strategy calls put you further back than I think you wanted to, but how are you feeling after a 3rd place performance here tonight?
I had a blast racing tonight, especially back and forth with Andrew. Got a lot of respect for him, and we race each other, clean but hard. So had a blast racing, swapping first and second back and forth. I don't know how many times with him.
I mean, it was so much fun to watch Jamie going back and forth and seeing those duels. And I know tonight, it kind of, after that first caution came out, changed up a lot of mentalities on strategy. Some drivers pitted early, later, to kind of set up into the second pit stop. What was it like for yourself trying to decide when it was the best time to head into pit road on that first go around?
The first go, I pretty much knew I was gonna go whenever Andrew went in, or either right after him. So I think that's, if I remember correctly, that's what I did, a lap or so behind him. And the last pit stop, I tried to short pit a little bit, thinking I would bring some people in a little bit sooner than they wanted to. It didn't work, but it was fun overall. I mean, it was a great race, and it's not one of my best tracks, so to come out third and be competitive all night, pretty much it was a success for me.
Well, Jamie, I mean, it was a great season on our end to call you from the way that you developed from last season to this season and to come away third in points overall and just seeing the jump in level of speed that you had. It was awesome to watch. How would you grade yourself, though, looking back at this season, coming away third in points and being just behind those Bowie Esports drivers?
I would say that it from last season this season, I definitely made tremendous improvements, and you know for probably majority of the races this season, I had just as much pace or more pace than the Bowie drivers. It was just, man, I could get some bad luck come I don't know how many times, and just didn't work out. But I mean, they were fast and good team, and I'm proud of my team and where the improvements we did. Where I finished at in points, I think I ended up third in points. So that was a good season, and I'm proud of that. And I can't not thank Eric Anderson for bringing me over here at the beginning of the last season, because I didn't know anything about Doghouse, and he was a great teammate, and then the team I'm on now with ESR with Jonathan, Kevin, Steven, Hunter. It's a jam up team, so I enjoy being with them and thank them for everything they've done to help me.
It was awesome to watch. Well, Jamie, before we officially call it a season, any other final words that you have and thank yous? The floor is now yours.
I definitely want to give y'all a shout out and say thank you for everything y'all did. I've enjoyed watching all the broadcasts this season. So I hate you want me back next season, but wish y'all the best, and hopefully hopefully we'll cross paths again one day. And thank you to my team again. Thank you to Daniel and all the admins, all the hard work they put in, and shout out to my mom watching, and look forward to next season.
Can't wait for it. Jamie, congratulations with a podium finish here tonight. Enjoy the off season and good luck next season for yourself.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good one.
You too, as that will finish up our interviews here tonight. What a season it's been. What a year it has been. Thank you again to all those that watched throughout this season. I know we've had plenty of people that have chimed in every single race. BMAC, one of those that has always been there. Thank you so much. As we take a look at our final results for the 2024 season 2, it was a lot of ups and downs in the middle of the pack. But on top of the board, we give it to the 66 of Shane Parrish. Started 20th, but it didn't stop his march forward as he'll take the win here tonight for your SSR Designs 180. Justin McMahon will be going to second place, which also Jamie Horn in third. Brandon Bowie, your champion of the 2024 season 2 of the Shoney's Doghouse Cup Series, finishes fourth, perfectly where he needed to be, as he won by over 50 points over Brandon Six, who missed out on showing up for tonight, who would have been the champion if he had shown up. Eric Warman, he continues on with his great runs throughout this season. He comes away fourth in points, but comes away fifth on track. Tyler Millette comes away in 6th. Quiet night for Jonathan Smith, but he moves up to 7th. 8th goes to Daniel Wilkerson. Kevin Powell falls down to 9th. I think he was expecting a little bit more this evening for the 93. And Eric Anderson finishing out our top 10. Some other notable drivers, Brian Dixon has a couple of big slides. He comes away in 13th. Also, we have a lot of drivers from 16th on down, not able to finish out this race the way that they wanted to. And ultimately, what a shocker of a night. Started off with us thinking this was all Brandon Six who was going to win the championship, but he misses out on showing up for the championship race, and it hands it over to Brandon Bowie, who just needed to finish inside of the top 17, did so, and he will hoist your championship here tonight. Again, thank you so much to Doghouse and all those that have been viewers and supporters of this league and drivers that came along and watched our journey here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting throughout 2024. It was a pleasure to give you the call, as well as having Zach with me and Robert running productions. Thank you for letting us be a part of the Doghouse history, as they will be moving on to a different broadcast team. We are slimming down. We'll be giving you the calls on Wednesdays and Monday nights for 2025 when we see Monday nights return at the end of February. And we continue to watch WSSR for the rest of this current season. For the Shoney's Doghouse Cup Series, they will move on to a separate YouTube channel. They'll give you more details on their social medias. But for us here tonight, for myself, Sam Dyer, for Zach Hall, for Robert Moyer Jr., and everyone else that helps out here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, thank you for being along with our journey for 2024. Season 2 goes to Brandon Bowie. Congratulations on hoisting the championship. Congratulations to Shane Parrish for taking the win of the SSR Designs 180. Thank you to all the sponsors that helped out the Shoney's Doghouse Cup Series, from Shoney's, True Patriot Apparel and Gifts, as well as SSR Designs, Butt Kicker, and Nap Daddy Designs. Thank you for partnering up with Amazing League. But for us here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, enjoy your off season. But we will be back for more racing action Wednesday night. It's the WSSR as they head to Darlington for the rest of their regular season. We'll see what they've got on Wednesday nights. For the Doghouse, good night, have fun, and we will see you Wednesday for our next Freaky Fast broadcast.